You ready? Hey guys, come on in. Today we're going to be harvesting some mushrooms and kind of looking at when an oyster mushroom or lion's mane is ready to harvest. How do you know? What our quality standards are, and basically how we harvest the perfect mushroom every time. So we can start over here on this rack. This one is ready first. I'm not sure why it grew so fast, but it did. Where the rest of the gold oysters and the blue oysters are still coming in. Even these ones up top are just now pinning, but probably in 2 days that will be up to this size. So I try to get the oysters while they still have some nice curvature on the caps before they're all flat. So this is perfect. They're not going to get much bigger than this. And you want to get them before, here, like this is a great example over here. These are probably just a little bit past when I would harvest them. They're still good. I'm going to harvest them. You can see how flat that is compared to the curvature here. That's going to make the difference of kind of like when it's perfect. And that just means it'll last longer in the fridge. It's going to have a better texture. It's not going to be as tough. And it's just going to be a better looking mushroom. Because as it grows, as it gets past that point, the color is going to change around this. The shape's going to be a little bit different where it folds up more. And the color is going to darken. So I like to get it whenever it's nice and bright. And, I'd rather harvest it a little too early than harvest it too late. That's always the rule of thumb. And I'm going to weigh out what we harvested. This is 2 pounds. Pretty much every one of our 10-pound blocks is going to yield 2 pounds of gold oyster because it's just less dense. It's going to yield 2.5 pounds of lion's mane every time, and usually 2.5 to 3 pounds of blue oyster, but it just depends on what your substrate is. Right now we're using Master's Mix, which is 50% soy, 50% hardwood. So it's heavily supplemented with nutrition. So in order to harvest these, we're just going to grab around the base like this and just pluck them. Look at that, perfect. That should just leave just a little bit of substrate on there. And we leave some of the substrate on, we don't cut it or anything because it makes the mushrooms last longer. Whenever there's still a little bit of the substrate there, they're still going to be eating that substrate and utilizing it. So they're not going to go bad. Once you start breaking them off in their individual mushrooms, they go bad a lot quicker. So this helps us preserve them and give the best mushrooms to the customer. I'll put that in there. Another 2 pounds. And we'll do this until the bin's full. And no one's leaving. So in a previous video, I said that lion's mane turns pink because it's not getting enough fresh air. And while that may be true, through more research, I learned that lion's mane turns pink whenever there's too much humidity. So I started drying out the fruiting room a little bit. Also, I installed, follow me. Also, in the far end of the fruiting room under the exhaust fan, we installed this that tells us what the humidity is and what the temperature is over here. This is a great fan, by the way. This is our new fan. This is a great fan. So that way we know not only what the humidity is on this side of the grow room, but also what the humidity is on this side. That way we can keep it nice and even. Because over here, the lion's mane is still looking a little pink, but in the drier regions, it's nice and white and firm. So we're going to be working on that while we harvest some more mushrooms. Look at that beautiful gold oyster. Very easy to harvest, very easy to grow at home. Give it a shot. And it sells great at the markets. It smells like, here, smell this. Smell it. It smells like cinnamon. That's pretty consistent. Yeah, an amazing mushroom. So these blue oysters over here, they'll be ready in about 3 or 4 days. They're not quite ready yet. Once they just start pinning like that, I'm not super stoked on how they look. They got a little bit of browning on the caps, and I want them to be nice and dark blue with fat caps. And like these down here are looking pretty good. I think it's because it's a little bit drier over here, but even then, that's not a perfect. I'm not super thrilled about that. Here, let's go ahead and grab that off of there and see how it looks. So this is a very small flush. This is our second flush off of this block. But the caps still have a decent amount of color, and they don't look that bad. This is Florida oyster from North Spore. But they're not too bad because you can see the stem is nice and short. We got a nice big cap to work with. That's all we really care about is that big cap. So how do we control the humidity in our grow room? Well, for starters, we have this humidifier that we built. Probably seen this before. No need to go any further. We use this humidifier with a percentage timer that's in this box that says we'll have it 10 minutes on, 20 minutes off, and we just adjust that until we have the humidity in the room that we want. which is, right now in the summertime, I'm looking for 85 to 90% and then drop it down to 80%. So, not too humid. We don't need it being crazy in here. And that's how you get the perfect mushrooms every time.